Assalamu alaikum. This is Safir Khan. Today I'm going to talk about Cheegha, which is a presentation given by Sir Asghar Lavangeen, and the topic is a book which is written by Ghulam Qadir Khan Daur, and the full name of the book is Cheegha, the Call from Waziristan. So the title tells us about so many things which is related to the society of Pashtun and related to the religion of Pashtun, related to the faith of the people of this very area. The novel is written by a CSP who has done with his CSS in 1982, and he was born in Waziristan, North Waziristan, in 1959. In 1965, when it was a battle and war going on between India and Pakistan, so he was 6 to 7 years old, and his father was related to political party. His father was one of the people who was serving his nation, the people against India. So the book is written uh, for the people who are in love with Fatah, Waziristan, and all the tribal areas of Pakistan. The book is written for all those people who wanted to know about these places, the land, and the very people who are living there, passing their times, and happy or sad or whatever moods they have. So the first part of the book contains land and people. The writer Ghulam Qadr Khan Daur says that what kind of land, what kind of area, place that is, or what kind of people they are who are living there, staying there. He is talking about the land of the fathers. He is talking about his forefathers' um, relations to each other, relations to their own soul and soil. And then he talks about firing at Amin Piquet, which is the war of 1965. 6 September is mentioned there, and he is dealing with a lot of circumstances, I would say tough circumstances or normal circumstances going on between India and Pakistan, the Hindus and Muslims. And then he is talking about the land of the fathers, like the very places he is living on, he is staying, and condemnation of poverty is also there. The part two is totally saying the famous quotes, the famous things, and the very reality of tribal society, tribal areas, the seven agencies of Pakistan. The Rivaj ways of the fathers are the title of part two. Tribal society is mentioned here. Hojra is mentioned, a guest house or a guest room. Rather, I would say that we cannot say in Fata that we have a guest room. We should say, or we must say, a guest house, because a lot of people staying there with their cars, with their vehicles, with their trucks. So they are very much proud of all such qualities they have. And then we have dignity in serving in the book in part two. Like they are very much a kind of people that they feel very happy and proud when they get to serve someone. And women is also mentioned, companions and comforters, because the writer is a feminist as well as the society he is dealing with his writing. They are very much good feminists, and they respect their wives, their women. As the writer has mentioned his own mother, like he is saying that my mother was a great lady having great skills like his own father. And then he is talking about Dum Odol on the beat of Dol. Dum means the person who is dancing, the artist, and Dol means the instrument for beating and for making beautiful sounds. And then he was talking about faith. Faith is one of the main things mentioned in the book, because he is talking about religio, culture, society. Religion and culture in our Pakhto is mentioned there accordingly. And then in chapter 3, the instruments of administration are mentioned, like nikat. Nikat is a kind of a word which is given from nikah, and nikah is called the grandfather of a person in Pashto. So all such things are taken from our seniors, the writer says. and there is nikat. Then we have a mashar. He says that we were leading elder in the family or in the society. He deals different kind of situations for the upcoming people or the future of his children or grandchildren or the whole society. It means. Then we have badal, revenge, like it is on the peak in Pashtun society. Then we have tiga, limited ceasefire. If two groups are against each other and they are dealing with tough circumstances, so there should be a tiga, a limited ceasefire for years, 10, 15, or 20 years. And then we have badraga, skorn nawate is unconditional surrender if someone made a mistake and he came to you for forgiveness. So this is called nawate. Then in chapter 3 we have Pana Asylum. This is called in English. Like nowadays people are going to Europe, so this is just like that. If you made a mistake or you did something, you commit something else, so you go somewhere, run somewhere, and ask for a Pana, for an asylum. So Pashtun are very much strong in these things. They will not hand you over to someone else. That thing is mentioned. Then Cheegha, the call is, which is also the name of the book, is mentioned there. Uh, and the call takes place when a poor or a weak person get beaten by someone or society. So, for his or her help, the society will make a call or chira to help her or him accordingly with different uh, things. Then we have tiga, which is a chord in English, and naga, fine. This is not fire. I'm sorry for this. This is naga, is fine. If you made a mistake, you will be punished for that in different kind of things like by money, by guns, and by people. Then we have Hamsaya in protection. Tarbur is a second cousin, which is also one of the famous things in this society. Maraka is also mentioned. In part 3, the writer is talking about his old childhood, and paradise is given a name to his own place. And this is then we talk about chapter 4, the Pahel, which is his village. His youthful springs are there mentioned in the book. The Gulununandara Festival of Flowers is a ceremony in that very place on a lot of very other societies of tribal areas. Beautiful she is, the bride. There was a bride in the novel he is talking about. The novel is basically an autobiographical novel, and he is talking about a bride. She was beautiful. Her clothes are mentioned, her sandals and suits and everything, slippers, everything is mentioned there by the writer. Govasht is also mentioned, harvesting festival or harvesting season. Storytellers, night of the prince. So storytellers are the people who are very much Tangewala or one of the person who was serving his father like a bodyguard. So these people, the smaller or minor characters, are oftenly storytellers. And for each other, this is kind of love, which is mentioned by him. In chapter 5, he is dealing with brothers and blood. It's talking about different kind of religions in this chapter. He is dealing with, particularly with Hindus, like before 1965 or before the separation of Hindustan, India. So there were a lot of Hindus in Waziristan and such kind of other tribal areas. And the second point is lonely without you. So he's saying that we people are lonely without those Hindus, brothers and sisters living with them. And then in chapter 6, he is talking about education, the society. The first line is a phrase given by the writer, Daur Khan, to education. His growing up is also there. He is talking about his own schooling that he was studying in Murray, and his uncle, his elder brother was also mentioned in this tape. And his CSS and PMS was also mentioned with the passage of time in different kind of lines and chapters and paragraphs. Then he's talking about homecoming, that he had a great prestige, and people loved him and respected him a lot for his traveling, for learning and education. And then changing times is something very much special. Like he's saying that I was a common person and my father didn't ask me for anything. But if when I passed the exam, the CSS exam, Central Superior Services, then I got a very higher and big place in the people's hearts. Then in part four, he is talking about Russian adventurism, rise of militancy, and in chapter seven, the Afghan jihad is mentioned. Like all those days after 1975 to sorry 1979 till 1996. So this is the era where Russians are dealing with Afghanistan, and then Talibanizations are there. They are serving Afghanistan, or they are dealing as a party who have the power to control the all country. So after jihad, things are saying that tribal areas people were serving in Afghanistan as mujahideens, and without Pakhto is also like some people were very much changed for money and for scope and for fame. They became Arabs for more money in jihads, and along among enemies is also something very much difficult to explain. But the writer says that uh, the Pakhtuns are very much alone nowadays. That the own government is not helping them, and they were used for different purposes. And then in part five, Pakhtunwali is described the ways of infidels, never to return, and way forward, looking forward for different kind of things. So the novel is totally based actually on socialism. The novel is all about the society of Pakhtuns, their hujra, ghairat, nang, damodol, etc. The way they live and spend their lives. That is one of the common thing and the basic thing of the novel, because the writer says in the pre-reading that the novel is a kind of guide for all those people who are not known to the people of tribal areas. It talks about the ups and downs among families, whether this under the family or outside a neighborhood. It shows the whole culture of Waziristan. The behavior of enemy and friend is also shown in the novel, and it is also shown that how to deal non-Muslims. Hindus are sketched in chapter 5 in relation with them. Education is their particular society. In their particular society is also mentioned that Pathans and Pakhtuns of Waziristan and other tribal areas were very much against education, and then of course particularly females, ladies, girls education. Feminism is also mentioned, like respect towards women is there. Pakhtuns always honor their families, females, and keep them under the four walls for parda. This is not a negative thing in the society. It is very much positive, and that's why a lot of Pakhtuns of tribal areas do not allow their daughters and sisters to go to school, and the people take care of their wives more than kids and even brothers. It's also an important thing in this particular society. Special respect and honor, respect to mothers, and this is one of the realities. It is, of course, true. Asylum Pana is shown in the novel in chapter third, where a woman needs help and she gets it. Cheegha-The Call, chapter third, also takes a story of a weak and poor lady. Then we talk about religio-culturalism or religio-cultural society is mentioned in the novel. Like Pakhtunwali versus religion is there, and Pathan Jane te Ramazan Jane is one of the points that Punjabi says that Pathan are very much related and concerned with fast and prayers, all the pillars of Islam. They are very much close to these things. Faith on Allah is also mentioned. Pakhtun's beliefs on different kind of things, Mashar, Tiga, etc. These things are uh, famous and sketched in the novel. Criticism on the government of Pakistan is also done by the writer. The Afghan Jihad people started acting like Arabs because they would be paid for that. So they were paid by Arabs and other such countries, but with the help of Pakistani government. So this is what the writer says. They changed their styles for money. And after Jihad, 1911, and USS supplies for madrasas and to create terrorists among on people. So this is also criticism on Pakistani government. Innocent people in terrorism and their cruelties on common men is also mentioned. So this is all about my presentation, and thank you so much.